If you tell me what this podcast is about and the date, I'm going to feel like I have learned something.
Welcome to Zero Hit Points, everybody. It is December 4th. I'm Ryan Miller, and he wants a date. He wants two dates? I didn't quite. What was it?
No, I'm not at liberty to talk about this on the podcast.
I tried to elicit a dodgeball. I said, well, I'd like to mate, quote, and it didn't work.
Different show. Wrong show. Book clip for movies.
Fair. You're right. This is the Zero Hit Points one. Wherein video games have happened to us, to you, and we talk about them. Mm-hmm. There you go.
That's it.
And yet...
You're a shot to the heart, and I'm to blame.
Is that what this show has turned into? Just us trying to elicit different quotes or songs from each other throughout the show?
You give love a bad name.
And you're too late.
Yeah, you give it. It's a bad name. You're like, hey, my name's Ryan. Everybody's like, well, there it is.
I believe it's Whoomp.
There it is.
There it is. This isn't even, we don't even do a music podcast, so I don't even have
coming up.
Like out for that. Tune in Thursday for the movie one.
Yeah, we'll do the music one on Fridays.
Well, we could do it on Wednesday, but I feel like we'd have to replace the food podcast that we tentatively scheduled.
And I'm not comfortable with that because, food is something we all love. People are like, I don't get music. And I'm like, I don't think you're human, but...
Real talk, if you had to choose between a food or a music podcast...
Yeah, that's a tough one. I'd probably go with food more than anything because I have way more knowledge about music than I do about food. So it'd be like an exploration of learning about new things, trying things out.
I like how you went the opposite way on that.
Yeah.
No, that was good. I would have to choose food just because I use that more often now.
Sure.
Actually, that's not true. I definitely listen to more music than I eat food, but it's all just music from a zillion years. Like I haven't acquired a new album. That's not true. I have. In fact, I shared it with you, but I don't acquire them at the clip that I used to.
Sure.
So
sure.
I surely could not sustain a podcast. Whereas food,
well, tune in Whensdays for food. That's it. It's called food.
Name the Zero Hit Points food podcast, everybody.
Yeah.
That's your new assignment, America. I also like funny zone videos. Hey, so this week, if we had to talk about video games, if they could be any that you've played, which ones would you choose?
I would definitely choose Red Dead Redemption.
Okay, good, because that's the first one on the list, and I didn't ask you if you played anything besides that. We've got a bunch about this one. We've, in fact, like the game, have split our attention. Did you have any story moments for the week? Single player dalliances?
I don't know that I had any specific any stories that were like part of the thing, but I had a whole bunch of weird glitches this week that were really funny, and I clipped a bunch of them. They're on the Xbox thing.
All right, tune into the Xbox Wednesdays.
Yeah, just log in.
It's Zero Hit.
That's good.
I just like that everything happens on Wednesday.
Yeah, well, it's the best day. It's the middle. It's hump day.
Yeah, it is.
That is a good game, though. I have pushed through more of the story, and it's kind of funny. It's like I'm getting through the story, and it's starting to introduce things that I've kind of figured out just by playing it.
By wandering around aimlessly.
Yeah, well, I'm like, okay, I was trying to figure out where the hell, man, I want to fish in this game. How do I fish? Oh, wait, I got to go back to the camp and do a mission that gives me the fishing pole. Got it. I do spend a decent amount of time fishing, and I did catch like a 19-pounder, which is pretty cool.
Hey, what type?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, all right.
It was just
fair.
It was super humongous, and it was scaly, and I loved it.
Sounds like a fish.
Yeah, it's
your descriptors
or Godzilla. I don't know.
Checking out.
Could be some monster of the deep.
Again, would not be surprised. Wait, actually, I think Creature was in GTA 5, wasn't it? In some way?
Maybe. I don't remember.
Oh,
oh wait, was he there on the lot, on the movie lot?
Maybe that was it.
I don't know. That was a good game too. Yeah, Red Dead Redemption. I don't really have a whole hell of a lot more to add to this. The story is going good. It is fun, if not the most engrossing story they've ever done. I think that more than anything, the set pieces they're building around the story are very exciting and very cool to do. the story is fine. It's just middling. It's right now, and maybe this is just me, but it does feel like, and this is kind of why I haven't done as many of the story things as I maybe should. It just feels like it's kind of plodding along, and you can kind of see how things are going to kind of go, especially since you know how Marsden, you know where Marsden's going to go at the end of this. So you can kind of see how the gang is going to implode in some way.
Sure.
It's very obvious that it's coming.
What percentage are you at?
Like 46 or something.
Oh, dang. Okay. So I'm at 22%, so this has less weight, I think. But I feel like I'm kind of in the same place as you in that I am still waiting for the story to come together in a way.
Yeah.
Like there's so many missions and so many things, and I kind of don't know which ones are main story related. I think in a way they probably all are. They're building something big.
If it's yellow.
Something wide reaching. Yeah, no, I know which ones are the yellow ones. So that's all of those are main story missions.
Yes. Yellow is main story. Everything else is optional.
Okay. I don't know if I have everything else yet then.
The kicker to it is like as you go through the story, the people at the camp will go other places and they'll give you things you can go do. Like you can go and do a house robbery with
heard about those.
Somebody. You can go with
Leo? No,
you can go with Hosea to hunt.
Forget, yeah.
Yeah, and those things totally open up dialogue and give you more information and more backstory, and that they're cool. They're super fun to listen to, but again, it's not. And I had this thought, and I started getting really concerned about this. In that, God of War may have kind of ruined game storytelling. Because that thing was so good, so tightly put together in that, like, with breadth, that you didn't necessarily get everything that you could have gotten. And I feel like there's that in terms of the story, that's kind of what Rockstar has always done. And they've always kind of attempted, and most of the time, I think most of the time Rockstar is successful. And maybe this comes together later on. It just hasn't yet, but it is like, I think about how God of War did all this, and it's like, this is like Rockstar did it, but just not as good.
Well, and the apples and oranges here are
everything.
God of War is a linear. Yeah, I'm also hungry. God of War is a linear. It's not an open world. Like there are open worldish aspects to it, but it's a guided experience. Like I don't know, like when we talked about the main story missions in Red Dead just right now, yeah, it's all the yellow ones, but they don't care what order you do those in, and the world.
Well, some of them they do, because some of them won't show up. You'll only get the one. Sure,
but it's a lot less focused. It's just it's an open world game. It is a true open world game. It's a Rockstar game in that way. It's just not the same game that God of War was. And I think Rockstar has shown over the years, and this was something I had to come to terms with, because I think the first time I played not a Rockstar game but an open world game, and I can't even remember which one I'm thinking of now. It might have been a Saints Row or something like that, even though that doesn't sound right. But I thought the story was kind of just nothing, because there was no focus to it. I could do anything at any time, and it didn't have the impact kind of in that way. Or I could just not do something for hours at a time, type thing. So I feel like Rockstar has always shown themselves willing to make that sacrifice for their story, and they do some strange stopgaps. I feel like you could, when you're in a story mission, you can fail it. It's not like you have endless decisions or opportunities. It gets linear at that point, but I feel like they've always been willing to let that genre kind of take a little bit from that storytelling from them, for better or worse. And oftentimes it is better, like within their genre, like if God of War and Rockstar were the same exact game, I can't even finish that sentence actually. I think Rockstar obviously excels in their area. I can't think of a person that does it better like that. If Rockstar made a game like God of War, maybe that's what I'm trying to say.
Sure.
I guess then I could probably still see God of War doing better at it, but yeah, it's it's the fact that the way God of War did it, and it has nothing to do with
like the gameplay in any respect. This totally has to do with story construction and how it's laid out and how it's given to you. God of War and GTA are similar in the sense that depending on where you go and how long you stay in places, you get the same thing from God of War that you get in GTA. GTA, you're just you're saying there's an icon, I'm going to it. With God of War, you're getting the background from Mimir. That's what Mimir does. He is all of those points in Red Dead Redemption that you are optionally doing, except he's constantly giving you stuff, although you can miss out on tons of it if you don't actually move around with it. So that's what I'm talking about, is how it's handed to you. And now Red Dead Redemption, the point obviously is to go and do those things. That's the fun part, is because there are always these giant missions or something around it. So it's exposition with an action behind it, as opposed to God of War, where you're constantly in action or you're like right next to it while he was telling you something. And then you get the break and then he finishes telling you. And I love the Rockstar style and genre. And yes, like they're totally different things in that respect. Absolutely. But there's something I like more. And I think it's just how it's more natural in God of War. The story is, and maybe that's it. The story was just, it's more natural, and so I want a more natural story, and Red Dead Redemption has two things going for it. One is that the story is plotting, and two, it's the fact that I am having a harder and harder time getting over, I was going to say Alfred.
Sure. Yeah, no, I mean, what's Batman going to do?
Arthur, I am having a really hard time getting over Arthur's,
you're all right, boy.
Voice. Yeah, like and the delivery of lines.
Does it not get better over time then, I guess? Or at least background?
There are a number of script lines that are they are kind of brutal to listen to, where you got the guy being Dutch, and Dutch has like he's the guy doing Dutch's voice is doing a good voice because it's obviously something close to his. Whereas I don't think Arthur Morgan is talking like this all the time, boy. You're a good boy. Like, he doesn't talk like that. So he's affecting his voice in this really. No. And then on top of that, one of the things that kind of gets me about it is that he doesn't seem to be able to maintain it.
It's a little uneven. Yeah, no. And we talked about a little bit about this for the Game Awards show, whereas in the performances category and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I don't know if you were to go back a little bit, I don't know if you were disagreeing with me, because I feel like it might not have worked, because that was kind of the point I feel like I was making too, is that...
No, I wasn't disagreeing with you.
The difference between the two games is Mimir's feeding you all that stuff in God of War.
Yeah.
Red Dead wants you to go out and get it. And yeah, that you can go out and get it in a different way or not at all, et cetera, and that makes a completely different experience, one that may seem even more plotting, and it can still be plotting, but I think certainly when compared to God of War and how that's paced and how you are fed stuff,
sure,
that's a good difference, a good differentiator.
Yeah, and I don't disagree with you, and in fact, I think you've explained it, I re-explained it, and now you've tripled it up, so I think we're good.
Mm-hmm. We've said the same thing 3 different ways.
Now let's do this. How do you feel about Red Dead Online?
Oh, the other thing. So that came out. I didn't make it on the day I could, but I did make it on the day you could. Actually, that's not true. I think we still made it a day after that. But hey, we played together.
We did.
And eventually we were able to hook up because I played, I forget, you were doing something. I made it through the intro part. And then by the time I was done, you were like, well, I've got to go. And then you came back and then same thing. You're like, all right, I'm in. And then I'm just walking around online. And then you got done with the intro part and then I had to go. But we did finally hook up. Any first impressions? What are you thinking?
So there are 2 things that I noticed immediately, and I again, this is a beta, so there are definitely things that are not in here. I do kind of wonder and hope that they're just going to leave it there, and you're just going to keep playing it, and then they'll just update it.
I hope so, especially after that rumor. Like somebody had a headline that was like, Red Dead Online progress could be reset at any time, which I'm guessing there's some line somewhere in the EULA that's like, this is a beta, don't get attached. I hope they don't reset stuff.
I don't even care about the reset more than any. I just Like, yeah, I would prefer not to have to re-kill everything. I mean, I'm going to re-kill everything anyways. What am I saying?
That's the game, yeah.
Yeah. No, I guess, I don't care about that. I more than anything just want to keep playing it. And if they're going to have a downtime for like one day, fine. But I just want it to be like GTA. It was just there all the time as far as I can remember it. Like, they were like, here's a beta. Just leave it there.
Oh yeah,
maybe I'm wrong.
They GTA, no, it wasn't. They didn't call it a beta, and it was a freaking tire fire at the beginning. Remember?
Correct.
Like it was always down. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was still there. Like you could still play it if you could get in.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
That was the key. Okay. I will say, I gotta say that I did appreciate once we were like sitting down and we both finished the intro. Actually connecting was very simple. Like it actually worked right away.
That thing is streamlined
very
like nothing else. Yeah, it is the premier Rockstar online game experience, even in beta form at this point.
Yeah, no, for real. So I think the two things that I most notice is there's a lack of certain things to do. And it's stuff that will come later. It's like the poker's not really there because it should be like everywhere. And I think it's only in one spot. I think you.
Oh, is it? We couldn't find it.
Well, I thought you said it was in Saint Denis, but I didn't.
No, we went through everything in Saint Denis and it wasn't there.
Yeah. So no poker, no 5-finger fillet, none of that stuff is in there yet. It's some basic PvP, and there are story missions which are kind of cool, and we're doing those, and those have been fun. The other thing that I've noticed, and I don't know if this is just me, maybe at different times because you've played it. I think you played it at different times than I have also. That online world seems very empty for some reason. And I don't mean like necessarily the world at large. I mean from an online player perspective. It seems like there were beta. So again, who knows? It just seemed like there were not a ton of people in there.
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna cap the total at, but it seemed to me that it was 20 players, and the maps. While
it's huge,
I guess you could choose what areas right off the bat. Like if you boot into the online mode, it has free roam in this place, free roam in this place. Like I don't know if that's sectioned off. Like I'm guessing those are probably instances actually. Like you're not going into a server of just that area. It's just you have the whole map, and if you walk into that area, it'll re-instance it with you or something like that. I don't think you're in the same game with somebody that's on complete opposite sides of the map type thing.
I'm fairly certain those are just spawn points.
Oh,
it's just you go where you want to spawn in, and that's it.
Okay.
So that you don't have to get the random spawn. You know,
because GTA 5 GTA Online is not like that. So yeah, okay,
yeah,
makes sense. But in any event, I get what you're saying, because even if it's capping out at 20, like I could go a long time without running into any one of those. Like you can see where they're at on the map, like you could on GTA Online. So I could go to one of them and start messing with them if I wanted. But yeah, there were moments where like if you're doing your thing, which maybe this is a strength.
Yeah, I'm not.
If you want to do your own thing, you can kind of do it without getting bothered by somebody.
Yeah, and I don't know that it's necessarily a bad thing. And the online stuff, like, and I mean, the missions and all that stuff, like. Those got populated when we needed people very quickly. So
yeah, matchmaking was super quick. Yeah.
Yeah. So matchmaking, that's the word.
That is the word.
Yeah, you got the word of the day, matchmaking.
So in fact, maybe we start from the beginning. So you go into Red Dead Online and it lets you design your character. You're in jail for some reason. In fact, you're on a chain gang eventually, but you get to design how your character looks. And it gives you a ton of options, but also some that are like just left field ton of options. Like you can customize the strength and clarity of your whistle.
Oh yeah. My guy looks like he looks like a Willem Dafoe if he was encephalopathic. Look it up and
he can read people's minds.
Yes, that's exactly. He gets ESPN.
Bummer.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't even get the Ocho, which I always think, pay for the Ocho.
Ocho Cinco? I know sports.
You do. You're very good. He was a football player. Congratulations.
I thought he was the Dancing with the Stars guy.
Yeah, tune into Ryan Learns Sports Wednesdays.
Gotta fill out that schedule. So yeah, you eventually it takes you to your chain gang. You escape. You're approached by a unknown figure who takes you to another unknown figure. It's a lady who has hired you to avenge her husband's murder, I believe. But first thing I noticed right off the bat, I am happy that the Online has a story component to it.
Yeah.
GTA Online does also. It's not new. I'm just glad that it's front center. It's the onboarding for this thing, in fact. But man, does it stand in stark contrast to the single player mode. Like, you think Arthur Morgan's got a performance issue. I don't know why I had to put it like that.
I know why.
All of the voice acting is just immediately like, ooh, this is a different game.
I also think the writing is significantly lesser.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's supposed to be incredibly boilerplate. Like, you fill in the blanks, but like you're the classic silent protagonist, both for GTA and probably just video games in general. Like, you don't say a freaking word, right? You just sit there and take it all in.
I just sit there and look encephalopathic. Look at my giant head. I'm Willem Dafoe. Your guy looks like a normal,
yeah, my guy looks like a normal pile of hair with scars. That's true.
No, your guy looks like he's been sitting out there and he's a prospector. I've been looking for gold.
He's a little prospector, yeah. Again, tune in Thursday. But that part is bare bones. It's meant to be, so I don't give it that bad of a time, but it does stand in stark contrast to anything else you've played in that game.
Yeah, it's still fine. It's
fine. It's good.
And that's just it. That's all. It's fine.
It's there to put some.
It gives context to being online.
Sure. Yeah. Exactly. And that context is basically, you go and try to avenge the murder of this lady's husband, but in so doing, you make contact with all the sheriffs, which is where we're at, and those are the story missions that we did. And they give you missions that are very obviously meant for you to choose one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
You choose to kill or not kill it. Or I guess we screwed up, or we didn't screw up. It was fun because we split the vote pretty much every time, which I liked, and I wish the game had more support for. When it was just us two on that one mission, it was the guy that we threw on the railroad tracks, and he wasn't necessarily a bad guy. We were just exacting. We were doing some dirty work for a dirty dude.
Yeah.
So the guy we were capturing wasn't necessarily dirty. He's just the dirty dude. So we put him on the train tracks, and then we had the option of leaving him there or rescuing him. And then it takes a vote, and you wanted to leave him, and I wanted to rescue him. So I don't know how it decides when the vote is split. It doesn't surface that, and it doesn't have a third option for when that does happen. Like, it doesn't break down into a free-for-all or we have to do it ourselves. I don't know. That's the part I wish there was more to.
Be kind of funny if you just had to shoot each other. Whoever dies loses.
Right, just anything.
Whoever dies loses.
Instead, it defaulted to me, and then the guy got freed. And then I think I won the vote last time, or actually no, because we accidentally match made for the second one. And we had two randos, and I think it got split too, didn't it?
It did.
2-2?
Yeah, it totally did.
Yeah, but it chose the one that I chose again. So again, I don't know how it's working.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's a toss up.
But then me not wanting to kill the guy ended up being the bad decision because that guy was an outlaw. So my meter went down at that point. So pay attention, I guess.
And then I think that was the guy where we had to we had to take somebody, and I think it was that guy because I think it was right after that.
Well, so that was the outlaw, and he was like, "You can kill me now, or you can let me go, and I'll show you where the money is." And we put my hat on this other dead guy, and you just take that guy in and say this was me.
Yeah. So we
did that. Yeah. So I had in disguise dead guy on my horse while we were following the outlaw to his money.
Right. And then we got the money and I shot him. And then we took his body to the sheriff where we got more money.
And the sheriff did not acknowledge other dead body on our horse. He just said, "Oh, you got the guy."
You were like, "Don't worry about this.
I've got a body too.
Don't worry about that little guy.
Everything's fine."
That's all I got.
Yeah, that was fun, man. It was cool. Those story missions, I think, were the high point, definitely. We also did some stranger missions. They have the equivalent of those in the game. Some of those were fun too. I think we didn't run into too much trouble.
I will say my favorite moment was towards the end when we were trying to get from one place to the other, and I don't remember where we were going. I think we were going up to Valentine, and somebody I am always, for some reason, like the slowest person in every one of these games. Everybody's like, "Look at me, I'm running ahead doing the mission." I'm like looting people like 8 miles back and then going, "Where the hell did everybody go?" Getting on my horse and finally. So I think I was actually looting a body, and Ryan had gone ahead, and we were up on this like mountain pass, and somebody gets behind him, and I'm like telling him like, "You got somebody behind you, and they are definitely going to kill you because it's what this game is." but the person doesn't kill him. They just keep going, and I'm getting up there. I'm gaining on them, and I start going like side, like we're side right next to each other. Just taking, it felt like Days of Thunder.
Sure.
That was Rowdy.
Exactly.
I was Dick Trickle.
That's the name of the guy.
Okay. Rowdy, by the way, played by Mary Poppins from Guardians of the Galaxy. Fun stuff.
Thursdays.
So this person, I end up getting stuck back, and I that's what I did. I dropped back behind them so that I was definitely behind them. If they tried to shoot you, I could shoot them. She took off around a corner and just kept going, and I followed you up the mountain pass, and she starts shooting at you, and I turned around, it was the fastest, best shot of any career I've ever had. I turned around and bang right into her head, dead. She comes back once again, boom. I think I killed her 3 times. She finally got us a couple of times, but you could tell she was very salty about those couple of kills early on. She was not happy with them.
She kept coming at us for a bit. I think finally we just rode away from her. But
those are and that's kind of what I like about this more than I ever could like about GTA, because GTA, you've got rocket launchers and you've got machine guns and stuff. And this, almost every gun, you get a headshot if you're close enough with the weak gun. If you've got a heavier gun, it goes further out. But it feels like it's a little more, I don't know, the gunplay is just more fun in this game. It's like, I
think I'm with you.
It kind of feels more like the game is on equal footing to a point for everybody. I mean, definitely, it's not, but it feels kind of like it could be.
So far. And I think those moments are part and parcel with this thing. Like, they're to be expected. Part of the onboarding puts you into kind of one of everything. It puts you into matchmaking for the mission, and then it puts you into a versus matchmaking, I think, or it might have just dropped me in free roam and I accepted one. I don't know, but the 2 times I have accepted, it's put me into the game mode where you have to hold the bag for the longest time. Whoever holds the bag for the longest time wins.
Oh yeah.
And then after that, it puts us all back into free roam, and I just start shooting the guys that it spawned near me, like you do, because this was the game was brand new. I was just into it. This is the first time I was in free roam, so I'm testing stuff out. I'm shooting people, and man, did one guy not get in, he was already in, we're in a shared living space mode type thing. He started calling me a master gamer, and I killed a few guys, because I was like, oh, what does this thing do? Let's have fun with this thing. It's GTA, right? Oh, it's Red Dead, whatever. And he was just not having. He's like, oh, look at this pro gamer. Oh yeah, you shot somebody. Good job. You're real good at this game. I'm like, I don't think you understand, but that's okay. And then I left.
That's when you just got to hop on there and say, hey, you better not talk to me that way. My compatriot is a card-carrying member of the Xbox Live Diamond Club.
Yeah, you weren't there yet, so it was just, there's no way he would have believed me.
Yeah, he's going to believe you when I jam that in his face.
The best thing I can say about it is that I thought about playing it of my own accord.
I like it. Point. That's fun.
That I thought about entering Red Dead Online to just do some onlining all by myself. Part of that is that we can't afford to buy a permanent posse yet, or construct a permanent posse yet. That's right. I've been saving up. I'm barely over $100, I think. Which I've seen some complaints about the economy in this game. Do you have any issues with that? Because the money's not coming fast and furious or anything. Not
yet. But we'll see how they deal, how it goes down. GTA's economy sucks. You have to be playing that thing all the time, double time on double XP weekends to get enough money to basically do any of the DLC.
Really? I don't even remember that.
Oh yeah, dude. Do you not? Oh yeah, the drug running operation thing. I could only afford to buy the base. I couldn't get any of the other stuff.
I guess that's right. I couldn't afford
all the cars.
I think what happened is that we were in early enough that our money kind of piled up, and I just wasn't spending it. Maybe that's what I was doing.
The jetpack.
So I actually wasn't, I think, blocked until the bunker update, and I couldn't afford a bunker.
Right.
So yeah, I guess I see what you're saying.
Yeah, and I mean that's totally how that's how Rockstar sells shark cards.
Right.
And
this game has gold nuggets, 100 of which turn into a gold bar, and that appears to be the premium currency that for sure they're going to start selling for real dollars at some point.
Yeah.
But everything I read so far says that that's tied to cosmetics. So I win again because I don't care, but I mean, I'm sure somebody's not going to be incredibly excited about that or how they're doing it. Having to pay for a posse makes a little bit of sense. What do you think we did? Like 10 missions total in the time we played? We played for a good chunk of time. 2 hours?
3 hours. 3? Yeah, maybe 10.
And yeah, I'm at $100, and that's with the starting money that it gives you.
And I think I'm only at 60 or something.
Okay. And you've been buying stuff though too. I'm like,
have I?
I haven't even bought anything. Yeah, I remember you talked about buying stuff.
What did I buy? I don't think I bought anything though.
Oh, maybe you didn't. I don't know. Just going by voice chat, which I always use while I'm online. Yeah.
You know what? I did buy stuff. I bought.
See?
Yeah. I bought potions, whatever they're called, tonics.
Tonics.
Yeah.
That's what they're called. I think we'll play it again. I think we enjoyed it.
Yeah. By the way, if you want to play after we record, we can.
Actually, yeah. While I was doing the agenda for this show, because we used an agenda. Mm-hmm. This isn't off the cuff or completely unrehearsed.
We just don't look at the agenda.
I did consider. I was like, I really don't want to do any work today. So I thought, hey, that means after recording, I could theoretically play a video game immediately because it's before stuff gets in the way.
That's right.
So yeah, let's do that and explain it at length on a podcast for no reason.
Cool. Let's go fast.
Did you play anything else this week?
No, I don't play video games. Huh.
Okay, I've got a few others to run through. Are you ready?
I've been never as least ready as possible.
For the Jackbox Party Pack 5. I mentioned this real quick kind of in passing because I had in-laws over and we busted it open to both kind of see if there was anything in there that we could play with the in-laws. And I do stand by what I said in that it's not really made for that type of situation.
Yeah.
Like there are plenty of Jackboxes I can bust out with literally anybody of any age at any time and we can have some fun.
Like 1 through 4, right?
Probably, there's something in there, I think, for everybody. 5, not necessarily, but I did bust it open a little further this week with my wife and child. I almost said kids, which I do have 2, but only one was playing at the time. And one of them is called the Zeeple Dome.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And it's literally a couch co-op thing that they figured out how to put on your phone. This is all still through the phone. You are basically putting your finger in the middle of a circle and dragging out, kind of like balls or any of the other Arkanoid or Breakout clones out there, how on the phones they've come to support it by you put your finger on and you drag it and then you can kind of direction it at the same time, right? So they have that on this web interface, jackbox.tv, and then you let go and your character is slung across the screen and you're picking up power-ups at the same point that you can use to destroy enemies.
So it's Angry Birds?
It is very much like that. If it was more of kind of a Smash Brothers situation, like an arena fighter or something.
Sure.
They manage a degree of fun with it. I was actually pretty surprised. So, and my daughter was loving it. My wife was a little less because you need a measured amount of expectation when it comes to the controls. It's not perfect. It definitely is not perfect or as responsive as you might want it to be, but it works and we had fun.
Nice.
I was surprised. And then I did get into Madverse City. It's the rap battle one that we did at PAX a little bit.
Yeah.
Which at PAX, I'll say I wasn't like, it was funny. Like they had the pros were up there doing their thing, but we didn't see behind the scenes. We didn't really see how they were constructing their stuff. So I couldn't get a good handle on if the game would be fun to play other than making funny rhymes type thing.
Yeah.
Now that I get a look behind the scenes and how it prompts you to make the rhymes, basically it just has you do one word, it kind of Mad Lib style. You just fill in one word.
I was going to say,
and then you create an entire line that rhymes with that. So it's kind of the perfect balance of they're doing it for you and you can affect it a little bit to put in those sick burns.
Monty Burns.
George.
Mississippi. Wait.
Yeah. Did you say Mississippi?
Yeah. Bernie.
Good enough. Gene Hackman. So it's very, very fun. I could see the draw of that big time. That might be the one. I've heard lots of people say that's a standout from this, and yeah, I think they're probably right so far.
All right, you should stream it.
That would be supported.
Indeed, which is what by the way, I feel like that's kind of what they were aiming for with Party Pack 5. They were definitely, it seems like they were aiming more for streamers and...
Yeah, a lot more of that built in, which is fine. It'll come in handy someday, I'm sure. I should stream. I bought this like brand new thing and I can actually OBS now and things are great. Then I played Split the Room, which I think we also did at PAX, right?
Yes.
Yeah, not as strong. I think definitely stronger with a crowd. Again, plays to the streaming thing. These are supporting like hundreds and hundreds of players. Like I think, or at least 800 players. So the idea being that you can get people competing or participating on the stream.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's fun enough. It with 3 people wasn't really worth it. I don't think we'll go back to that one unless we have more.
Fair enough.
But that's it. I didn't play the other 2, so I don't know what they're called. I won't mention them.
All right, cool. What's in the news?
Donut County's in the news. The other game I finished this week.
Oh.
The other game. I didn't finish any other. I don't know why I had to say it like that.
Fair enough.
The one game I finished this week.
I see. You were talking about Jackbox. I thought you meant the last 2 games you had on the agenda, and I was thinking, why did you put them on there then? Did you make this like a week ago?
I appreciate that. Look at you rolling with the punches. That was a great segue then. I take it all back. I kind of don't even want to talk about these games.
No. Go ahead.
So Donut County we talked about it a little bit. It's an iOS game because I buy tons of iOS games every year.
I've heard that. It's a rumor that I don't know where it got started, but spurious rumors abound for Ryan Miller.
But I actually didn't have much to say. Not only because I hadn't played it a ton, but there wasn't much to it. You are a whole kind of Katamari Damacy style that gets bigger as you swallow more stuff. Shut up.
You're a hole.
But there is kind of this little story to it where you're a raccoon that's controlling the hole through an app, and this is why you're sucking stuff in because you like trash, etc. You get a catapult at some point, so there is some light puzzle solving to it. You'll never get stuck. Some of it might take a little bit of time, or you'll see it from a mile away type thing, but whatever. What happens with that game is not only do the levels open up, what I'd consider the final level is this multi-tiered type thing where you're going into different areas and doing different things at different times that affect other stuff. So it actually grows in a really cool way that has you using different mechanics all at once, even if it's just all the same mechanic. But maybe the weirdest thing that happens is because this whole thing is wrapped up in this kind of wacky story where you are this raccoon who's self-absorbed. So all these things that he is sucking down the hole are coming together in this underground bunker type situation where everybody's trapped and kind of talking their way through it. And I guess maybe in that respect, when you go to the levels and suck everything down the hole, it's a flashback. I don't know. So everybody's in this hole talking to the raccoon who did this all to them. And he's so self-absorbed and he thinks he's cool. He just wants trash. And he's part of this larger raccoon consortium that has the Trash King at the top, who's this raccoon who's basically trying to destroy the world in a way by doing this. But it's only because he wants more trash. Anyway, sorry. The weird thing that happens is that this game manages to say something in this weird kind of mimetic poetry. Like you think about memes a lot when you're playing this game. It's kind of that type of humor, like it's wacky in a way, non sequitur in a way, and pithy in that type of way.
Pithy.
So, but it comes to this poetic head that starts to make sense, both characteristically, like you start to believe in the friendship between this self-absorbed raccoon and this girl that's in a lot of ways his conscience, because she's trying to kind of lead him in the right direction to make amends for what he's done, or at least recognize that he's done something that's severely inconvenienced the rest of this Richard scary looking town. But it does come together in a way I wasn't expecting. Like what it could be saying about self-absorbed people like that and how they can come around, how they can have an anchor that might be outside themselves. But am I looking for meaning? Yes. In a way, it says something about human connection that I found very real.
Sure. In
this completely bizarre game.
Donut
type of way.
County.
Donut County.
The philosophical meaning behind Donut County.
I don't know.
Coming up.
It's
Berkeley Breathe.
It's weird, but worth playing. And then to keep up with this widely known fact about myself and how I play mobile games, I purchased another one that was on my radar for I think it was surfaced in the App Store, which is never how I found a game before. I've always heard somebody else say something about it. It's called Alphaputt.
Sure.
How do you feel about handheld golfy type games?
I don't know.
Okay. So you might still not be into this then.
All right, let's look it up. I'm going to check it out while you talk about it.
This got me on Look. I'm into golf games. I don't know if I've done one on my phone either ever, but anytime there's like a mini golf thing, I'll pick it up usually because it's fun for couch co-op and stuff like that, you know.
I actually really liked Tiger Woods, those games, like PGA golf.
Okay, all right. You're like a professional here. Oh,
yes, yeah, obviously that's what I am.
You know, think about what's the one at PAX? What the Golf, right?
What the Golf.
I hope it's not stealing the thunder of.
Oh, this looks good.
It looks beautiful. It is. Like, it's a designer's dream. Like, my graphic designer friend, even before I bought the game, I sent him a link to this thing that was like, this thing might be something. But I've since downloaded it and started playing it, and it's really cool the way it has a hole for every letter of the alphabet.
Sure.
And before you can do kind of a free play, you have to just play, I think it's 3 random words. So it takes you to kind of a swirling dictionary, and you just choose a word and you play it letter by letter. And each one has a theme. And they're super well designed, super cool. That some of them have kind of what the golf aspects to them. Like one of them, I can't remember what the letter is, might be O, is a dodgeball court. So every time you hit the ball, like 5 other balls will shoot at you. So you got to figure out how to play around that a little bit. So far, it costs money. So
$3.99.
I don't know. Your one true nemesis.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know why. Our one true nemesis. I know what it's like.
Also true.
But since I'm the guy that buys mobile games like pretty much every day.
Yeah. I mean, you've got a collection, hundreds of them.
I would recommend so far the money that this one costs.
All right.
That's all I got. You've heard it all.
Okay. To the news. Anything good?
To the news. Wow, we've been going this long? Jeez.
Yeah, I know. You just would not stop.
Red Dead is a good game.
Oh, that's what we talked about. I thought it was just you talking about mobile games that long. Okay.
It seems interminable when I'm at it. Oh, this will help.
Okay.
You're going to have all of the input for the news this week. In fact, this is born. The only reason this is in here, I feel like we would have skipped this normally, but you let slip by texting it to me directly this week. You returned your copy of Fallout 76.
Sure did. I waffled on the thing, and I was able to pre-order the and I'm aware of the whole pre-order thing. I've talked about this. I am part of the problem. I wanted the Power Armor edition because I love, like, there are certain types of things when it comes to memorabilia that I do really, really like. And I have a whole bunch of Fallout stuff. So I thought, yeah, you know what? I'm going to put this on my shelf. I'm excited to see the game play it. So we'll check it out.
Fallout has a good track record of shelf-worthy items, I feel
like. For
like.
me, yeah. I mean...
I'm not even that guy, but look at a Vault Boy. Like, a little Vault Boy doll. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you?
No, I love the little Vault Boy bobbleheads they started putting out, and
see, exactly,
it was great because it was that throw to Fallout 3, which was really cool. So, yeah, I really like Fallout, and I packed that thing back up. I got my Amazon return receipt and in the mail, baby. Get rid of it. We're done.
And you, to be clear, you never played the game, right?
I did not play the game. No.
And to be even more clear, you didn't have to.
I did not have to. When a game comes out and you have enough reviewers, and I mean, grain of salt with any of these people, I
Sure.
rarely take anything they say as truth because they're trying to be critical, and in some cases, I think they're being overly critical and whatever. But when you have enough critics, more than one, coming out and saying, I'm not reviewing this because I'm just not finishing playing this. It's bad.
Right.
you know something is wrong. And then I start watching, I start watching the streams and I start seeing people play it and I watch people in the beta and it just didn't get any better. And it pretty much, here's the thing, why I am dumber than I look. And I look pretty stupid because when that was shown, I said, and I think I said it to you, I was like, this is not going to go well. There is no way with the amount of people they're trying to put in there and then the nuke codes, this is just going to go poorly. And
you talking about when they released news on this thing?
Yeah,
or when it first came
when it first showed up at BethesdaCon, I told you, I was like, I'm still going to get it.
You didn't pre-order it for like a whole week. That's how crazy it was.
Yeah, and whatever. So number one, Fallout 76, as we mentioned, buggy mess. The game barely plays. It is pretty much everything they said it was, and it's everything the Fallout Bethesda series has been, which is constant breaking. You know, it's you expect it from Bethesda games, and
you do.
And in some way, and in some ways, it is like there's part of the charm. You know, there's the guy falling through the floor again.
Oh yeah, no, people. There is an expectation, or there is a level of that people will put up with for Bethesda games. Like there has always been that. And sometimes you'll see videos like, oh, I don't want to say they're endearing, because sometimes they're still game breaking. And if they're not game breaking, they take you out of the game kind of mentally.
Sure.
But yeah, I feel like in retrospect, introduce that into an online game and the patience for it is just about nil. Like all the news started coming out and I'm like, oh yeah, what else was I expecting, I guess, in a way.
Exactly. Like, and that's the thing. I know I'm stupid because I knew it was coming. I saw it coming from a mile away.
I guess with them, you think they're like the premier, like I can probably get past it game developer, right?
Sure. Yeah. and it's like, and the thing is, I have given Bethesda a lot of chances, and I do tend to like their games, but after Fallout 4 and now 76, man, if they do another Fallout game, they're really going to have to impress me on that one, because there is just no chance I'm touching that series from them again unless something major happens. And the only thing they're putting out that I will consider picking up any further are Doom games, which are, yeah, it's Bethesda, but it's also being made by people, like older people from id.
Yeah,
so.
But it's not. Yeah. There's actually a really good, because I love pitching other podcasts on this show.
Yeah, we do it.
There's a really good discussion the year that Fallout 4 came out.
Last year.
It was in the running for all the Game of the Year discussions that Giant Bomb does. They do a series of podcasts that are always really entertaining. But the argument for Fallout 4 in that show was pretty interesting, because I want to say Austin Walker was going for it, while Jeff Gerstmann was, as always, very measured in his appreciation of things, but made a lot of good points about how enough is enough. Like, maybe, yeah, but they shouldn't still be releasing games like this. And I think the fact that you're there too, yeah, like the next one they do has to be better out of the box, like out of the gate.
And I and holy crap, by the way, 2015, it seems like Fallout 4 came out last year. Like, no joke. I just had to look that up. You know, and I think that Fallout 4 was another example of them going in the wrong direction. They could not have screwed that thing up more until they made Fallout 76. Fallout
weird, huh?
Like Fallout 4, and here was how I think everybody knew that was going to be a rough game. And by the way, I know there are people that still play it and love it. They love doing the building thing, but it was the moment they said, "Oh, but now you're going to have a character that actually speaks." Totally out of it. You've sucked me completely out of your versions of Fallout. Now, all I want is somebody to come back and do the isometrics. Give me, let Hairbrain do it. They did Mech Warrior. They did freaking Shadow. Let them do Fallout. They'll do it right.
That's actually not a bad idea, really.
Yeah.
I feel like it could be time for that.
So there were the other thing, the second thing with the Fallout 76 Fallout here, which we love, Fallout 76 Fallout.
I did that. I thought of that.
No,
it was me.
Yeah.
I wrote it down.
You did.
I mentioned the agenda. This is what it's for.
Uh-huh. No, it's great.
I nailed it.
There was a bag that was in the Power Armor edition that had been advertised over and over again on Bethesda's site everywhere.
I'm looking at it. Canvas West Tech duffel bag.
Yeah, a canvas bag. That is significantly different than the cheap nylon bag that came with it.
Oh, wow. It's not even canvas. Like, I heard it was crappy. I didn't hear it was freaking not.
No, it's garbage. It's garbage nylon. And that was one of those, I opened that thing up and I went, this isn't right. And again, yeah. So, and then just to add a little bit of salt into that wound, a number of the influencers that baited the game and showed it off and were on Twitch, they did get canvas bags. Not the same ones that were supposed to be in the Power Armor.
What?
But they got canvas bags. Total again.
Oh wow, man!
Different from the ones that were gonna be in the Power Armor edition, but they got like backpacks. The excuse Bethesda came up with was we couldn't do the canvas bags for the Power Armor Edition because we were overwhelmed by the amount of pre-orders and the amount of it was hard getting a hold of the materials because apparently we live in a time when canvas is not readily available. I can't just go down to Michael's right now and buy a 30-foot roll of it.
No, that's a freaking commodity, man. Like the canvas mines of Africa, like
they're big.
Don't even get me started. Why wouldn't you come out ahead of that? Why would you follow through or did not delay?
So that's the thing. They produced all of these editions knowing this ahead of time. They could have told everybody and said, hey, look, we're sorry. We advertised this. We were unable to do this. So we're going to replace it with this. Man. People probably would have been a little more, lax on that. They probably would have said, okay, well, I know it's coming. You don't tell anybody. They legitimately, and I say this with air quotes, they got caught the day this went completely nuts and people started picking up on it. Kotaku was picking up on it. It was going all over Twitter. On their website, on Bethesda's own website, it's still listed it as with a canvas bag.
Come on, man. Yeah, see, I don't know how you do that.
No, and that, it's another one of those. And then this right here.
Wait, there's a number 3?
Oh, there's a number 3, and this is the cherry on top of the bag.
More than 2
Sunday.
This is out of control.
With the bag situation, Bethesda came back out and said, okay, we get it. You're angry. So if you show us proof that you have the edition, we'll give you 500 in-game atoms, which equals out to about $5. So that $200 edition.
No, you don't understand. This is how much the whole thing costs to make.
Right. No, oh my God. You're not even kidding. Like I freaking, but for people that spent $200 for this, and yeah, again, there's a lot behind that that's stupid. I am aware. Thank you. But you expect a little more than that, especially when you don't tell people ahead of time. You waited for everybody to get it, and then people started complaining about it. And then you decide, oh, yeah, wait, cool. We did not do what we said we were going to do, but we did give you a cool bag, and we'll give you some in-game currency for the game you're returning.
In-game currency, even.
Yeah.
Like you still have to play the game. Like, okay,
no.
Our bad, but you still got to play the game. Here you go.
And this is the best part. These are 2 of the best parts, 3 of the best parts, depending on how you count it. You can buy a canvas bag in the game, but it's like 1,200 atoms. The only things you could get with 500 were a door.
You are joking.
No, you could get, or maybe it was 800, but the only things you could get with 500 atoms are a door and a plant.
Oh,
that's
my
it.
Gosh.
That's pretty good.
I don't think people understand what they're seeing here, how sad this is. You are seeing Matt Amberg, like top 10 Fallout fan here, be betrayed.
It's so funny.
Maybe the worst kind of way.
And wait. We're not done yet because
that's the third one. There cannot be a fourth.
No,
there can't be a fourth.
It's tied into the third one.
Okay, all right, 3.5.
Yeah, 3.5.
I'll accept that.
So you're given you're given a credit, a $5 credit for in-game currency that you were then giving right back to Bethesda.
Oh shoot! You just had to. You couldn't have let me figure that out like while I was laying in bed tonight.
It is the most circular punch to the testicles and or uterus, womb, whatever you might have. Just so good. I love it, and I want to figure out how to do it to other people. How can I get you to buy the thing you hate, return it, and then somehow make me still have more money?
I was going to say, here at 0 Hit Points, we can't quite say don't buy Fallout 76. We can't. I think we're recommending buy it and return it.
I definitely am. Yes.
Okay. There you go. So official recommendation.
Save it for a rainy day. You spend the $200, wait for, and then you're like, oh, you know what? I could use $200. Then you just return it.
Game the system. Buy it. Get your for 500 atoms in-game currency, and then return it. Right,
and then wait for it to go on sale or free to play, which will happen anytime now.
Laugh your head off. 0 Hit Points is a website. You can go there, and everything will work perfectly, and we won't then have to refund you any money.
That is correct. And if you are spending money on our website,
don't actually. No, we're giving away those shirts for free. In fact, have we mentioned that? We've been doing them for the people that show up for the stream.
We have.
But hey, if you want, I don't think I've changed the code, so this will make less sense in podcast format. If you want any of the shirts up on our site, there's only 2. Relax. But if you want any of those for free, the code is Dead by Daylight, all one word, no spaces, and you just get 100% off your order. So we're blowing out what we got. If you want any of those, go check it out. ZeroHitPoints.com. I don't know. The link's on there. It's called 0HPTs, or the actual link is /store, I think.
Sure. This all sounds correct.
It sounds correct, which is the important thing for an auditory medium, viewers at home, that we thank for being here.
Thank you.
At ZeroHitPoints.com. We'll be back on Thursday as Book Club for Movies. If you like The Ballad of Buster Scruggs and or the Coen Brothers in any way.
I do.
Confirmed 1 Coen Brothers fan. Stay tuned. Find out if it's 2. Actually, no, you could just listen to last week's episode and find out if there's 2.
But then also listen this week.
Also last week, we actually did have a podcast that came out on Wednesday last week, I think. It might have been Thursday.
No,
I edited it on Wednesday.
There's no way to possibly tell.
True. We did the Game Awards nominees podcast that we do every year. Also this week, the actual Game Awards. So Thursday, I'm going to be there, and I actually got my email about my VIP package. So here's what I have to look forward to.
Ooh, yeah. Let's hear it.
After you park in lot W and exit the parking structure.
W, by the way, stands for winner.
Follow the walkway that runs between Microsoft Theater and the JW Marriott LA Live toward Microsoft Square. I'm telling everybody exactly where I'm going to be at this.
I think they probably know. I mean, you've said it a bunch of times.
No, they could like mug me at this point. Well, they know like the sidewalk I'm going to be on.
Yeah, the people hunt you.
Okay. To access the check-in location, the VIP check-in table and entrance are located in front of Microsoft Theater near the box office will call area. VIP check-in will be from 4 to 5. Doors open at 4:30 p.m. Don't ask me how that works. Pre-show reception is from 4:30 to 5:30. That's where I'll be, VIPing.
Keep it in your pants.
Show starts promptly at 6.
Promptly.
So Thursday, while you're listening to Book Club for Movies, I'll be at the Game Awards. We'll see what happens. I'm sure I'll let a tweet drop or 2.
I'm going to watch this stream as best I can so I can look for you.
So either way, we'll see you on Thursday.
All right.